Hey, look, I'm back. It's part 2 because everything got updated like fucking 2 weeks after I made my video. So it was like it felt like everything was just obsolete. But it's fine. We're back. We have builds. I've been working behind the scenes, doing some offline testing. So we'll see what I can cook up today. But this build is your standard assault rifle and hostage build. I'm just gonna say it straight up because I know everyone's gonna probably mention this at some point, but I know Noli's build is like similar to this one. This one's just like non-ammo bag, so it's like the opposite, but you still get hostages, but it's essentially the same premise. You just don't have Bastion. So you have like all your grenade skills, you have assault rifle skills. Breaking point isn't really essential. It kind of feels like a waste of points, but it's really good for dozer plates, I find, for the faceplate. So that's essentially the only reason why I have it. And then focus fire is like kind of iffy. You don't need it. I swap between sudden impact depending. I've just been trying it out to see if I can make it work. You don't have armored up 2 ace, so make sure you know where you're placing your armor bag prior. So like, you know, if you know you're near an OBJ for an extended period of time, you have 2 armor bags, so chuck 1 down. Make sure you have 1 prepared at least. If not, and you're playing solo, what you can do is you can wait and get really low on plates to either 1 plate or no plates, and you just have your singular impact, and one of the bots at the end of an assault phase, they'll drop an armor bag for you, so you won't even have to place an armor bag. It's a little strat that I've been doing. Ninja has just 2 skills for SMG. This essentially just lets me melee somebody and reload quicker. That's literally all these 2 skills are for. You get 0.25% more hip fire pretty much, so I guess there's that as well. You get a little bit of extra armor damage, but that's just so like your secondary isn't completely trash. And then you have just 6 skills in here for extra consumables. If you truly wanted, you know, you could take out these 2 points on head guard and focus fire, and then you have 11 grenades. It's literally up to you. All your playstyle. Me, I like having head guard because I go for headshots a lot, so having the armor regen be 0.6, having that stack is really good. But if you ever want hostages and consumables, there you go. You get 5 with the mercenary frame, 3 blue, 1 impact, same as last build. Frag grenade, doesn't matter which one you use. You can use the new one, you can use the old one, doesn't matter. Either or are really good. Russell JB9, I have pretty much the same attachments as everyone else, except I do have a mod that has a different sight in the AG9, but if you're just doing regular, just use the biofit and then use whatever, like the normal sight that you get. I think it's like the lucid or whatever. That's all I've used. But aside that, you know, on PC, we kind of get the privilege of having newer mods that, you know, add different things. So I'd recommend that. Give it a try. I'll drop that link in the description if you want to try it out. But you can have, like, you see, I have the AG9 on this thing. Like, it's pretty neat. I like this mod because you can make some really cool guns. But that's essentially the Russell. And then on the AK, which is probably really essential, it's really good on any of these builds because it does major damage. 120 is a lot, and especially if you can get the recoil and stability up, then you know you're kind of cooking. If not, then you can use the Car 4, you can use the new assault rifle if you have it. Excuse me. It's hard for me to say I can recommend the new LMG. I haven't really found a good way to make it work, so to speak. Like, it works, but I find it only really works when I'm playing online with others. Like, if I'm playing solo, I find it's okay, but then I feel like when it comes to like bigger targets and stuff like dozers, so to speak, that's where it kind of lacks. Mostly because the fire rate's kind of poop, if I'm being honest. It'd be cool. I don't want to be that guy, but it'd be cool to have like a rapid fire attachment just for like all these guns to make their fire rate quicker. I don't care if they have like a penalty or 2. Like, that don't matter to me, but it'd be cool to have a rapid fire attachment. I just want to put that out there. But back on track, I either use the car for the KU, you can use the VF, it doesn't matter. I don't use the VF all that much. Same with the Chant, I don't use either of those. The Adeling's not bad, I just don't use it all that much anymore now that the Skog's out. This gun's really good. But lately I've just been running the AK with the cylindric rail barrel. Instead of the Revenant grip, I had, which one gave me the one that gives targeting speed is the one that I always go for, because I find that this thing, its targeting speed's a little bit slower. But if you find you don't really care about that and you're more hip fire-ish, just go for the ones that give you recoil. So like the tack grip's probably your best option. And then for the sight, it doesn't really matter exactly what you use. I have the mods, so I can use, you know, whatever sight, doesn't really matter. But either use the classic RDS because you get more targeting speed, or use the sheath because you get gun kick control. Those are the two options that I've used that help the most, because I find like putting anything bigger than that on the AK is kind of useless. But it's your own personal preference. If you want whatever sight, just go for it. It's up to you. But that's really that. And then cylinder grip is the regular vertical grip, just for the hip fire accuracy. But that's essentially that's literally the whole premise of this build. Just hostages, get consumables. Here's the next one. Same exact build, but you have, oh wait, actually I should mention this before I even go on this. I do have Sociopath, and I have Master of Mayhem, Berserker, and Killer Instinct. I find like you can swap between these two depending on how you play, because if you get like the 20% less damage, you can make it last a little bit longer. Where I run Killer Instinct because I'm not using it, I get it quicker instead of using it. We'll make it last longer type of thing. So pick your poison on these two, really. The middle one's kind of just a necessity because that's the one that gives you their health back. I feel like this one is just kind of like, that should just be the, like, you know how they just made the Mamba not damage players and civilians? Why don't they just make this standard for the bat? I don't want to be that guy. I know it negates the whole Berserker option as well, but like, it just feels like I'm picking two useless things here that this thing should just constantly have. I could go in depth about this Overkill system because I'm gonna be honest, I'm 50-50 on it. I like it, but like it needs to be worked on a lot more for me to like say it's like quote good. It's definitely a starting point. That's like my biggest like gripe about it so far, because like I find like I think I'm kind of in the boat as like a lot of the other people where they were like, oh well, I just wanted an overkill weapon that like kept all the perks now, and then you guys just release like new attachments or whatnot. But it's literally a work in progress. I find like, you know, within time I find that they'll maybe work on it more. This one doesn't have breaking points, so you got to be a little bit careful. You have Bastion. Say armor bag rule still applies. Throw one down like when you get the chance. If you need head guard, then take off sudden impact and one of your SMG skills, because on this one you have your SMG as well, and this one makes the SMG a little bit more useful because you have crack aced, so you get the extra 30% plus the 14%, so you're doing like 44% extra damage, and then you have 42% of spread. Like this one kind of helps out a lot because it makes your build very versatile. You have grenades to back up everything. Your assault rifle isn't as good, but it's still good, and you have Bastion, and you have a good SMG in your pocket, so it's like you don't really have to worry. And then I use the minigun on this build just so I can get all the armor reduction. This build really works well with Bastion and all the armor reduction that you can get with it. But if you find you're not getting use out of like the minigun, you can either use the RPG with 2 extra rockets, or you can just use Sociopath like I just showed with the same perks. That shotgun build was in the last video. This build's a little bit different. This one I haven't been using as much, but it has breaking point ace, the same armor bag rules as earlier. A lot of these builds don't have armored up 2 ace anymore, as useful as it is these days. I've been really trying to gravitate towards making myself a little bit stronger instead of focusing on armor as like much as I was. But this one essentially will help you with I don't know, a lot of things really, because this build was good when I was using it on like shopping spree and stuff, because you get this extra dodge, and having a little bit of dodge with like nades and like armor actually makes it pretty useful, especially when you like they essentially use the same two guns, but you can literally use whatever gun you feel like if you want to use the new guns you can, if you want to use the old ones you can, as long as you're using a good assault rifle then you don't really have to worry. This one uses 3-plate instead. That way you actually get dodge, because if you're using 4-plate, you technically won't get dodge. So you'll start off, I think, with like 20% or something like that. I forget how much. But this one will help you because you have lots of consumable slots as well. So this build's good for online play. So like if you have someone running a hostage build, you'll have loads of consumables. You got 2 armor bags. You got nothing to worry about. Everything's all hunky-dory. So that's essentially the premise of this one. And then the last one is literally the same as all these, except I gravitated towards armored up 2 ace and then cracked only for 10%. But depending on how I play, I literally just unace it and then just go back to ninja and ace crack, so my SMG does more damage. That's essentially the premise of that one, because they're the only 2 skills that I'm really going to benefit from. But pick your poison. If you don't want armored up 2 ace, then give crack 30%, and then you have something like as a secondary to use first, and then swap your AK and spam, and then you have all that extra DPS from the SMG that you used prior to damage the armor. All these literally use the merc frame except for the dodge build, and they all have blue plates and 1 yellow plate. That way you can at least have 1 plate when you lose all your plates to kind of back up and fall on, even though it has no damage resistance. It still is worth something. It's better than having no plates at all and just like borderline base health. But yeah, they all use sociopath. It's like I said, you can use the Argus, you can use the Carl Alfred, hell, even use the mob. Like, use whatever overkill you want. I don't use the red fox anymore. I'm gonna be 110%. I feel like this thing, just like having to select 3 of the normal attachments on it, just makes it trash. Maybe that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm holding my hands up right now like you got me, but you know, it just feels like this thing's garbage again. But you know, I guess that's maybe just me. But yeah, sociopath, Argus, rocket launcher, all 3 are really good. Pick your poison, doesn't really matter. I always go sociopath just in case, so I have something to run and fall on so I don't go down. But yeah, that's essentially all these builds. Hopefully they help. They're not shotgun related this time. You can actually use an assault rifle. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Aside, like, be a little weary when you're running some of these builds as well, because especially these days, now that SMG is meta, there's going to be a lot of people running the build that Noli made, which is fine, but like now we're going to have people fighting over like armor repair kits and shit. So like, you know, be a little mindful. You know, if someone kills a dozer, I've always been the guy when I play, if someone kills a dozer, that's your armor repair kit. I'm not picking it up. If you don't pick it up after like a minute, I'm grabbing it, because like I'm not leaving it on the ground. But if I kill a dozer in front of you and you steal my armor repair kit, I'm gonna be a sad boy. That's just how I play. I try to be nice. I try to share. I try to at least make these builds as well, so that like everyone can benefit, especially if you're playing online. I know these builds don't really do that with armored up 2 not being aced, but you can still deploy an armor bag early prior to like when you're gonna do an OBJ or have to hold out an area, and then you know you can pick away at it. But yeah, hopefully these help. This build video is a lot longer than, you know, the other one, which because I just ramble. But yeah, I'll leave the links in the description for the attachment mod, and I'll leave links in the description for all the builds as well. But that's me. Peace out.